Did you hear that?
Oh my gosh.
It's recording, and I set up my little zip drive so it could record for days. It's like a
You want to
terabyte.
talk that long? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. I decided to try something a little different this time. This is Spencer Wilson from Scale Auto Garage. He's got another YouTube channel. Um, I'm going to give him the chair, let him do some talking.
Let me do some talk. Okay, well, let's start with this. If you want to visit my channel, visit the link below. And no, I'm sorry. I don't mean to
No,
promote myself on your own
no,
channel.
no, you need to promote yourself. We're both about in the same boat. We've grown over the last 2 years together. I don't know how we initially, got in contact with each other. Do you remember?
I think it was something that you built. Like it was quite some time ago. It's got to be close to a year. I must have just found something on your channel and liked it and commented. And when I was debating on if YouTube was something I really wanted to do, I did the you must promote yourself by commenting on everybody's channel sort of thing. And I
Right,
spent some time really doing a lot of back and forth with people on their comment section. You build a lot of pretty cool stuff that I like. So it was
thank you,
easy
thank you.
to communicate that way, and then just it grew from there.
Right, right. So we have similar channels. We both build model cars. Spencer, you're a little more focused in your channel than I am. I'm kind of all over the place.
When I started wanting to do YouTube, I did a lot of research into a lot of the different channels out there, and I thought because I've been doing YouTube for many years with lots of different types of channels, so I actually really like a lot of the editing and the filming process of it and
Yeah,
whatnot. And I wanted to build as well as have a fairly unique style of editing and whatnot to go with it. And it took me a while to sort of figure out my brand or like my style, what I really wanted
right.
to do. But I definitely knew the direction I wanted to go. It was just, how do I grow to the place where I'm at now?
Right. I'm a big fan of your clipping parts thing, in fast motion. Love that. It cracks
Well,
me up every time. Tell me about how you
thank
do
you.
that.
You know what's funny? I got it originally from a Gundam video I saw years and years and years ago.
Okay.
And the nice thing about Bandai and the way that they do their model kits is every piece has three connections.
Okay.
So on the sprue, when I saw this guy do the video, he would do clip, clip, clunk. So it was like super fast clip, and then the clip with the part dropping to the ground. And of
Right.
course, because every piece was three pieces, it sounded really cool, like
Almost a rhythm.
the way that he edited it. And I thought, man, I really want to do this. But and if you watch some of my older videos, you can see where I'm sort of going with it. But the problem with cars is every piece is different.
Right.
Sometimes it's one connection, sometimes it's five. You never know, so you don't get the consistency. So I
Right.
ended up sort of modifying it over time to where it's now just the the secret. I'll give you the secret. The secret
Give me the
is
secret.
that the secret is that every clip is 2 frames,
Okay.
and that's it. So it's just 2 frames of the clip sound, and that's it. And then so, can you imagine how you look at the sprues and there's like 100 clips? That's 200 cuts that you have to make to actually get it all together. But I think the end result is pretty worth it. I
That's
like it
so
too. I think it's a lot of
that's
fun.
so editor nerdy. I love it.
It is, and yeah, it's sad, but I enjoy it. I think the newer style that I've been doing in my last like 5 or 6 videos is really kind of paying off. I think it looks pretty good. But thank you for it's nice when something you put so much effort into and then somebody says, hey, that's really cool, and you go, yes,
finally somebody noticed.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's good. Thank you for noticing all that hard work.
Oh, you're welcome. You know that I've lately been poking a lot of fun at the format, clip,
yes,
sand, trim, and and I guess I'm an ass for doing it, but you've made it your own, and it's not boring. I could point out video, producers that just for a half an hour long video and 15 minutes of it is nothing but clipping parts and trimming parts. That it's ridiculous.
I've sort of for myself, I think that the sweet spot, the YouTube sweet spot is that 10 to 15 minutes for a video. And I know this isn't necessarily true. I know
there's no gospel, right?
There isn't. And I mean, a lot of it comes down to like what works and what doesn't. And there's lots of channels out there that do like 30-minute videos, and I'm enthralled through the entire 30 minutes. Like I can sit and watch and just be in awe the entire time. So
we can talk about those people.
But I think that's also like they're definitely aiming at a very dedicated crowd. If you're looking for just like a really broad crowd, like here's Joe who likes car video games and he watches a build video because it's a car he likes. Well, it's kind of a different idea, I think. I mean, what do I know? I'm just some guy, but that's kind of what I've noticed over time in my YouTube viewing.
Right. Yeah, I would like to get into a more broad audience, not just people who build model cars, but people who enjoy models in general. Not just cars, but tanks and planes and whatever.
Well, there's definitely like all genres, like all YouTube. I'm very automotive focused. I don't really want to build a lot of like tanks and stuff. I would build military cars, like I actually like some of the Jeeps and the different cars and stuff, but I just don't like the scale. I don't like the 135 scale.
Right. So, where do you put them?
They don't fit.
They won't fit in my case either.
Yeah, but there's a lot of military stuff. The nice thing with military is you don't need to sand and polish for hours because you can go with a nice black coat and it works.
That's the truth. Although my friend John bought a Korean Air, almost like the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels, but it's a Korean one, and it's a gloss black with a gloss yellow. And I was like, ooh, a plane with gloss paint. So
interesting.
He's going to build that. I almost bought it. I just almost bought it.
Well, that sounds pretty cool, actually. I know there's a long time ago. I've been building since like young, and I know that there was a time where I built like a whole bunch of like 1/200 scale prop planes, like really small.
I was going to ask, how small is that? All right.
It's got to be like wingspan like this, right? And it's like 6 or 7 pieces. You put the fuselage together and put the wings on it, and they were small. I liked them very small like that, but I couldn't get it. I could never get into like the 148 or the 172 scale. But I do like prop planes, like the Lightning or the Mustang or the Stuka. I don't know. I know nothing.
I know nothing about planes either.
Yeah, I just like how they look. But I told, man, can you imagine like I build some plane and I go to an IPMS show, and you put the plane down and some guy comes over to you and there's not enough rivets on this plane. You're like, what?
That marking didn't exist in that era. Yeah, I could just hear him. I could hear him. But you know what? The model guys are the exact same way. Oh, your firing order's off, or where's your coil? That battery's wrong.
I definitely don't. I don't build like that. I build for fun, and that's I enjoy cars, and I like the actual process of building. It's not always just about the end result, but it's sometimes it's just like to sit there and build
the journey. Right?
Yeah, exactly. The journey.
Do you find that that you enjoy the journey so much that when you finish the project that it just doesn't mean anything anymore? That's the way I feel sometimes.
No, 100%. When I started, my channel, my whole thing was I was just going to give them all away because I don't care. I don't need them. They don't do anything for me. It's about the build. It's not about the end result. My wife didn't like that idea. She got very upset and was like, no, you have to keep these. You have to keep these. But I did end up giving some of them away. And it was such a hassle trying to give them away. You're giving them away. And you think, I just want to give them away. But it's trying to get, because YouTube doesn't have a direct messaging system.
They need one.
You want to, I know that I'm almost 100% sure that they used to have one and they took it away. And I think it's just such a shame because it's a really great opportunity. You say, hey, you want this kit, just comment in the section below and I'll message you directly and send it to you. But you can't do that anymore. You can't. It makes it really difficult. And so after 2 or 3 months, I just I abandoned it and said, whatever. Now they just all sit on the table behind me and I'm like, what the hell do I do with them? I don't even have a shelf.
Yeah, I can see the Shelby that you just finished there.
The Shelby. I really enjoyed that. I have to say, no lies, I actually really love Revell kits from that era. They're so refreshing from the Japanese formula. If you watch any of my videos, it's chassis, interior, body, chassis, interior, body, chassis. Yeah. It's very repetitive, and all Japanese kits are kind of use the same formula. And then you get these awesome Revell kits from the 2000s era, and it's the chassis is always super unique, and you have to frame build it, and you have to do all these things, and it's AMT kits from earlier, they're the same formula, chassis, interior, body, and then you get this middle era, this 2000s era of really unique kits, and then back to the formula. And it's
Don't you love those? I don't remember what years the AMT did them, but it was the Thunderbird, the 62 Thunderbird, the 62 Pontiac, the T-Bird that I built. They were all in they're all in the same year, and I don't know who owned AMT at that time, but those kits were spectacular. They really were. Really nice detail, molded in detail. Great kits. I have a bunch of them, even though I'm not even really into the subject matter all that much. I just know that they're good kits, and so I bought them.
Yeah, see, this is where you and I not the same page. Only because I'm not a domestic car fan, and I mean I know how much that might anger certain viewers or whatever, but I swear to God, from the 50s through to the late 70s, there might be 1 or 2 cars that I'm okay with. But I just have I have no attachment for some reason. I have no attachment to domestic stuff, which is unusual. I mean, I'm 50, and for
As well as
me,
I am too.
For me, all the cars that have memory or that have like attachment to me are like a 77 Subaru wagon or a 78 Honda Civic wagon, or
Interesting.
you know, like these weird, these really odd, obscure Japanese tin type stuff that
Yeah.
I have a huge passion for, and nobody makes any really great kits for them.
Right.
So when Hasegawa came out with that Civic kit, what was it, last year or the year before? I almost died. I was like, oh my God, this is like Gen 1 Civic? Yes! I'm so all over that. And then they make a couple of race car versions, and I'm like, oh, that was brilliant.
Hasegawa's coming out with some good stuff lately that's right up your alley. Like
I totally agree.
They're coming out with a Pulsar.
Nice.
And,
well, there's who does it? I've seen there is a company that does a Gen 1 Nissan Pulsar, and it's in my wish list on my Japanese website. I buy from Japan once or twice a year. I'll put like, you know, $300 or $400 worth of kits into my basket and then just ship it all at once. And there is a Gen 1 Nissan Pulsar. I would love to do a Gen 2 Nissan Pulsar. That was the one with the weird wagon back. And again, these are all those wonky, like really totally obscure cars that I like to do, but nobody makes them. So
for sure.
Anyway, yeah.
There's actually in the neighborhood here in Phoenix, there's somebody that has a 90s Toyota Celica. And, you know, it's been here for a long time, and the paint it's red and the paint's all burned, you know, and all faded. But I look at that car and I'm like, that was a really cool car back then. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's 4-cylinder, you know, probably an automatic. It's probably couldn't get out of its own way, but it's got a neat shape to it.
Yep. I love those. I love the Japanese cars, 70s, 80s, 90s. I think that was like everything, almost everything from Japan in that era was like almost perfect.
Yeah. So GTRs?
You know, I know that there's who's the guys that do it? Aoshima. They have a whole bunch of those. I think both Aoshima and Fujimi have a whole bunch of that, like the older GTR stuff. The
like R31 kind of, or the GTST.
Pre that kind of stuff.
So not you mean like the Ken and Mary kind?
Yeah. The Ken and Mary stuff. So like the C110, the C210, like that kind of stuff. I bought one. What was it? It was part of one of those series, and it was the C210, not a GTR, but just the Skyline.
Not the Liberty Walk
from that. No, not the Liberty Walk. Oh, for crying out loud. My mind just like totally went blank. Anyways, it's one of those Japanese series, like super old school. And it's one of those series where all the chassis and all the interiors are like exactly the same. They use the same sprue for like 14 different cars and just change the body, right? And it was one of those that I got, and I built it. And it's on my channel, but I loved it, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to get more of these. And then they're anything imported like that, if you find them domestically, like if you find them in North America, they're like $40-50. Right. And it's like, my God, that's way too much. But
yeah, I've talked about this before. When you buy stuff directly from Japan, it's, you know, $20-25 tops, but shipping is what kills us. Especially you.
Well, that's why I get a lot all at once, because then the shipping actually isn't too bad. I find that the site that I use, what is it, 1999.co.jp. Yeah, 1999.co.jp is the site that I generally use, and they have like it's not like a 1 week shipping, but more like a month shipping kind of thing.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
And I find it's totally fair. Like the shipping is actually pretty good if you don't mind waiting, and it's not like I'm, I need it tomorrow or I'm
You're
gonna
pressed.
die.
I don't have anything to
Yeah,
build.
yeah. I'm not. I don't have the biggest stash, but I'm not hurting for things to build. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. I'm also going to do one of these video hangouts with my friend James Duff from the Stash Project, and he's got a lot of kits.
That's a great name, the Stash Project. It's like that's what everybody does.
If you're watching this, James, get ready.
Get ready for the interview.
That's right. So I didn't mention where are you in the United? You're not in the United States. You're in Canada, obviously, with the flag behind you.
I'm in Canada.
Right.
Yes, I am a devout Canadian, and I'm on the BC coast, and I'm a lighthouse keeper. So I live at my lighthouse, and I build model cars in my spare time because I have lots.
You say that you have lots, but we've talked before. You say you're pretty busy most of the time.
I have a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of it is like the nice thing about having a lot of time is because like I'll be totally honest, my work week for what I have to do for my job consists about 15 hours for the week. So I work 15 hours over about 7 days. And that's a rough week. That's when I'm doing like extra work. Right. So it gives me a lot of time to do like other things. And I find like there's two types of people. There's people who have a lot of time and they sit there and they go, oh, I have so much time.
Click on the TV and veg out.
I'll watch some TV or whatever. But oh my God, I'm right in the middle of like 4 books. I am taking 2 different improvement courses. Like one's like a how to work on yourself, how to like know yourself better, all these kind of things. And then I've decided that. Sorry.
That's good stuff. It's really,
good stuff. It is. It's amazing what you find out about yourself when you can actually like sit down and take a look at yourself. And that's again the nice thing about having time is I'm not out like going out and trying to do this and trying to do that. So if I want to, I can sit in a chair for 10 or 15 minutes and not do anything and just think about it. But I also decided that I'm gonna kind of go back and do some school. I'm gonna do like become like a project manager, maybe some data analyst, like all this kind of stuff you can do online. I might as well get a couple of degrees while I'm here. Sure, why not?
Right. And you work out.
I do. Yeah. I have like it's when you have all this time to yourself, it's really great that you can I have a treadmill, I have like the bars, the pull-up bars, some weights, like all this kind of stuff. So you get to, because if you have so much time, it's really easy to just sit and eat.
Yeah.
So very easy to get fat. Sure.
I just started working on, I don't know if it's going to focus, this Toyota 2000 GT.
Yes, the new one from
Oshima.
Yeah.
And you built one earlier this year, or was it last year? 2020 or 2021?
It was last year.
Okay.
2021 that I built it, yeah.
You took it to the next level and cut the roof off of it to make the James Bond car.
Yeah, well, when I saw the kit, that was a kit that I bought from Japan, and I saw it and I thought, oh, hey, I've never even seen this car before. It's like but I didn't know Toyota made a really cool sports car, but okay, I'll buy it. So I bought it. And then when it came time to build it, I figured I'd go online and do some research. And the James Bond car came up. I've never seen the movie. I'm not a big James Bond fan. So, you know, it was nobody hate me. Nobody hate me.
You're not an American anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. But so the car came up on in my searches, and I was like, holy crap, that looks really good as a convertible. Like, it looks totally like the lines are good. I love the hood and like the huge sloping hood. And I find that the rear quarter and the hatch and everything on it, it sort of disrupts the flow of the car. So when you take that out and you're just looking at the car and the windshield, I'm like, I love it. That was so perfect. So I was like, yeah, I know it's going to be a bit of a risk, and I've never done this kind of work before. I've never done anything like that before. And I'm like, so, okay, Spence, you want to make this a convertible, and you're going to film it, and you're going to edit it, and you're going to put it on YouTube. Are you an idiot? But, you know, I did. And
you still finished it like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't take me that long to do it. It took me a little longer than my usual build, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. I put a little more effort into it than some of my other buildings. So, but I think it worked out. I mean, it ended up pretty good. As a matter of fact, yeah, that one, the last time my wife was visiting me at my lighthouse, she took that one home with her. So yeah, I don't even have it anymore.
So what are you working on right now?
Oh, right now, I'm working on a Lamborghini, a Countach, so an older Lamborghini. And unfortunately, I did not spring for the Tamiya kit, which I probably should have, because the Tamiya kit comes with the driver and everything, which is kind of cool. But I went cheap, and I got the Fujimi kit, and kind of regret a little bit. Okay. I don't know what it is about older Lamborghinis, but I did that Diablo from AMT a while back, and it was terrible. Probably the worst kit I had done up to that date. And then I get this Fujimi kit, and now I'm thinking, oh, maybe this is the worst kit I've done up to this date. So yeah, it's pretty bad, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm still, I mean, the Countach is such a beautiful car for that era.
It is. That was on everybody's wall when we were growing up, you know. Not in the Testarossa.
Yeah.
Have you done a Testarossa yet?
And the Testarossa, what I did is I put that Testarossa engine into a Corvair in one of my videos.
I remember that.
Because, you know, the Corvair needs a good good 12 cylinder in the back of it, right?
Right. But for weight distribution, right?
yeah, exactly. I did build the Mythos.
Oh, right.
Which is based on the Testarossa platform, but I do have the Tamiya Testarossa kit. Tamiya. Right. I do have the Testarossa kit, and I was actually thinking I might do it after the Lamborghini, but I'm not looking forward to the door slats, because the door slats is black in between the slats, and then I don't want to paint that.
It's not body color in there?
No, it's black in behind. So the slats themselves are body color, but there's a small piece where the door separates from the car that are black inside the fins. But of course, it's all one piece on the model, and you have to paint them. And I don't know.
You know what I'm going to say, Soencer? Paint it black.
Yeah. Paint it black, and then you're good to go. Yeah,
Right.
but if I
You don't
do
even have
that,
to do the trim.
but you know, if you do that, then you have to do the gloss black and the semi-gloss black, even though you know it would never show up on camera. But in my mind, I would know I couldn't do it. Yeah, I was thinking white, either white or yellow. I don't know. I haven't decided, but
Well,
we'll
let
see.
me know, because I have the same kit and I want to build one too, and I don't want to paint it in red.
You don't want to paint it red.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I
Too
don't
many
want to paint it
people.
in red either.
Yeah. Too many people have done that already.
Hmm. The nice thing about the Testarossa is Doug DeMuro did that like full walkthrough of a Testarossa. So if you really
Ooh.
want good close up of the dash of like all that stuff, go watch that Doug DeMuro video and you can see everything. Really great detail. So
What color was that in his
red.
video? Oh, of course.
I think it was red.
Of course.
But I mean, still, you get the tan interior, so it's you can do tan with any of the colors: white, yellow. Was the yellow one tan? I think yellow had a tan interior too.
I was
Anyway,
thinking maybe
you can
blue.
do the card purple and then go nuts.
I was thinking maybe blue.
Blue. That's an unusual color. I can't even.
I think they had two colors that year, like a dark blue, and then like the California blue, which is sort of medium blue.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even recall seeing one.
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Now you're gonna build it.
No. I was thinking yellow. I was thinking either yellow or white was what I wanted to do. But blue would be very interesting. That would look great.
We're not in competition. It doesn't matter. We can build the same model, same color, same everything.
Well,
Hell, I
it's
sent you a body last year.
Yes. That was great. That was so beautiful. I can't believe like the 2K clear on there. Oh, so gorgeous. I don't do 2K clear. I'm still using like Mr. Hobby sprays or like the acrylic clear or whatever. But
you're no slouch with those Mr. Hobby though. That stuff polishes beautiful.
It does.
I think JH is using that, I believe, still.
Yeah. And his stuff, he polishes better than I do. I'm still kind of lazy, but yeah, it does polish out nice. The cool thing about the spray cans is I'm lazy, so I don't want to.
You airbrush.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to clean the airbrush all the time, right?
I'm the worst in cleaning my airbrush. I backwash it with thinner, take the cap off, clean the cap, and pull the needle out, clean the needle, and stick it all back together, and it's set for next time. Some guys, they like to take them apart and scrub them and all that. And they last a good 3 to 5 years. And when it gets too gummed up, then I just buy another one. They're not that expensive. I don't have a good airbrush, so.
I've had this airbrush now probably for 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I'm not that good to it. I mean, but I really only use acrylics. I don't use lacquers. So I only use the Tamiya acrylics, which clean really nicely. Like if you use the Tamiya airbrush cleaner with the acrylics, it cleans up so nicely. And so I use either those or the Vallejo acrylics. Those are really the only things I use. I haven't gotten into the lacquers or.
Now that's interesting to me. So what do you? How's your dry time with the acrylics, with acrylic thinner? And it's humid.
Well, I use the lacquer thinner for my thinning.
Oh, okay. That's the same thing I'm doing then. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. So it's you're really making an acrylic into a lacquer by using the lacquer thinner.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. That's cool. But it still cleans with water. So that's,
Wait a minute. Back up. You're cleaning your airbrush with water?
Sometimes. I definitely use the hot water with the Vallejo paints because the Vallejo doesn't clean well with the Tamiya thinners or the airbrush cleaner.
Interesting.
Yeah, it tends to get really gummy. And so whenever I use the Vallejo, I definitely clean with hot water. And I believe this was all confirmed by that channel Barbados Rex. Don't know if you watch him.
Awesome. But I love his
Isn't he brilliant?
Yes.
Yeah, if I ever want to know how a paint reacts with anything or how it lays down or whatever, check that guy out.
Right.
So yeah, the Vallejo stuff definitely clean with water, but the Tamiya stuff I clean with the airbrush cleaner.
Okay. You do a lot more brush painting than I do. I just can't get a good flow with a paintbrush. So it takes me hours and hours to mask something small to do it. What's your secret with brush painting?
I find that the Vallejo model, not the Vallejo Air, but the Vallejo model, they paint really well straight out of the bottle because they're meant for like miniature painting, I believe. So they're actually a little bit thicker, and the pigment is quite thick on them. So it tends to paint quite well. The Vallejo Model Air Silvers tend to brush paint really nicely. And then I'll use the Tamiya semi-gloss, like a semi-gloss black or Tamiya flats, but I try to never ever brush paint Tamiya silvers or Tamiya glosses,
right?
Because they look terrible.
Yeah, that's a good way to show a brush stroke right there.
Yeah, they look so bad. And then I try and only do brush painting in areas like when you're doing an underside, when you're doing a chassis or something, and you're painting like the engine block or the exhaust, stuff like that. It's not as big a deal than if you like. I really hate brush painting like car seats or interior panels or anything like that because they always look terrible. But when you're painting something with lots of detail, the brush painting doesn't seem too bad.
Okay.
That's my secret.
That's your secret. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Write that down.
I'm giving away all my goods here. My God.
That's what this channel's all about, man. Just
exposing those secrets.
Expose the secrets. Right.
Yeah.
I did notice, and I have to criticize you. I've shown many times how to make these paint sticks with double-sided carpet tape and a popsicle stick, and I keep a whole bag of them just ready to go.
Yes,
and just mount your parts for airbrushing. I see you holding a chassis and spraying the chassis and getting paint all over your hands. Put it on the goddamn stick, Spencer.
Okay, so I actually have a huge pile of alligator clips for like all the smaller parts and whatnot. But
I use those too. Like
honestly, I do the hand in the chassis because it gives this is so cheese. It gives you a personal feel while you're watching because you can see my hand. It actually like creates a connection between me and the viewer that it's a person who's whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's really bad when you do it by hand like that because a lot of times you're doing both sides, right? You're doing the bottom,
get your thumb out of the way,
and then you're finished, and you're like, what do I do with this? I can't put it down. I'm gonna like ruin the paint. And then it's like, whatever, just put it down. I'll paint it again later. So it's always semi-gloss black, which you end up painting 2 or 3 times through a kit anyway. So, you know, whatever. I can come back to it later.
So back on that subject, do you find yourself batching? Like all parts are going to be semi-gloss black. You just paint them all at once?
So I'm pretty formulaic when I do my builds. It's you know what's interesting, maybe not interesting, I don't know, but you watch a lot of YouTube channels and they tend to follow, like, especially the formulaic channels, the ones that do full builds in a single video, or even the guys who do like part 1, part 2, part 3. They always do the body first, and then they do the interior, and then they do the chassis. Well, I build generally according to the instructions. And if you open up any instructions, it's always chassis, interior, body. And so my videos follow the same formula. And a lot of times what happens when you do it that way is, so for example, you do obviously a lot of your chassis parts, your engine parts, your interior parts, you figure out you're doing them all in a semi-gloss black. So you do all that painting at the same time. But then after you're working on the body, and then you get halfway through the body, and then you're like, oh, I got to do all the rubber, and I got to do the inside of the body. And then so then you have to go back and then redo gloss black or semi-gloss black again. But right. I mean, whatever. It's so you got to start up your airbrush 3 or 4 times throughout your build. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Right. Now, do you paint in the lighthouse?
So I actually live in a house. Like it's a full house. It's not like a light. The government gives me a nice house to live in, so it's a legit house. I'm not living in the cylindrical structure, which is okay. But but I do have. I know. I'm sorry.
You don't have to carry the candle up the stairs.
I don't have to do any of that. Thank God. Yeah, it's not anything like that. We, you know what? Believe it or not, here in Canada, we have electricity.
Get out of here.
No lies. We plug it in. And it turns on. It's amazing stuff. Yeah. No, I have a house. As you can see, I'm in a room. The house that I live in is actually like a 4-bedroom house. And so I have a room here. This is where I do all my model work and everything. I have a table and everything here, and then I do all my paint work in the basement. There's like a full basement in this house. So I don't have like a, what do you call it? Like a
spray booth?
You know how, yeah, I don't have a spray booth or anything like that. If you watch my stuff, I'm just holding it. I'm just holding the piece in the air, and I'm just spraying it. I'm just spraying in the middle of my basement, and
what's
all
the floor look like?
It's yeah, everywhere. It's predominantly red. Like, I don't know what it is about red. Red really shows up, but it's like all this crazy red paint dust all over my floor. But yeah, you know, it works. It's unique, right? Like when you watch my stuff and you're like, is this guy in his basement? And then you always wonder, okay, what's going on behind him right now? What's going on over there? Are those boxes of garbage? Is that like a box of something cool? What's going on with that big pile in the corner, right? Like it's always something different.
Yeah. I guess a paint booth is kind of boring to look at if you really think about it.
I know there's some channels out there that do the whole they paint every single part, and they sit there in the paint booth, they paint this part and they paint this part and they paint this part, and then you're like 10 minutes in the spray booth and you're going, okay, man, I know you're spraying some black, I know you're spraying some silver, let's go. I get all impatient.
Yeah, skip. Right.
Yeah, and you know, being a YouTuber, I really hate skipping other people's videos because I know how much that retention means. I know how much that watch time means, and so I feel guilty. I feel guilty when I'm like fast forwarding through someone else's video, thinking like they're not doing that to me. Of course, they're not doing that to me, so I shouldn't be doing that to them.
I only watch my friends' videos all the way through.
Yeah, there's certain channels that I'm definitely more loyal to than other ones, and even when they like put up something I'm not like super interested in, I'll play the video and maybe I'll work on the computer or like whatever. I'll half watch it, but you know, when you gain you feel like you're loyal to somebody, you feel that connection with somebody online, and you kind of feel obligated to, you know, you should finish the video.
I can imagine
you should finish my videos. You should all finish my videos. Full retention rate.
Full retention, 100%.
100%. I watch a fair amount of Lucas E. I think he's a pretty funny guy, and and I think that he's definitely got a great online personality, which makes I like watching a lot of his stuff. His rants and whatnot are pretty interesting, but I can't sit and just watch it. I have to kind of be, my attention can be in two different places watching that kind of stuff. And I figure it'd be the same with like this kind of video.
Right.
You know, you don't need to sit there and watch my face. It's as handsome as I am. It's not. Obviously, if you're enthralled by my appearance, then I understand. But it's not a necessity.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's staying in.
No ego here, right? I'm Spencer, it's okay. It's okay. I know how awesome I am. I don't need to.
What do you have planned for 2022? Do you have any special projects that you want to tackle this year? I mean, I really wish you'd get in with the group build that I'm doing, but I understand.
I took a look at some of the deckable sets for that, and I'll tell you that. And I really like that car. Like I like just the shape of the car in general, and I think that kit is amazing. And I would love to get involved in the build, but it's too early in the year, and I don't have that kit. Like I don't own it. But right. I think what you're doing is pretty amazing, and I hope that you continue to do this type of project throughout the year. And you choose some. If you choose either a kit that I already own or one that's like fairly easy for me to obtain, then yeah, I'm definitely in. I really regret not being able to be a part of this current project. I think it's great. I think
if this one goes well and we have more than 4 people building the car, then yeah, we'll do another group build on the Facebook group, and maybe I'll pick something or have put out a poll or something, and say choose one of these 4.
Yeah.
Because if I put
I
it
don't
out,
know.
go ahead.
I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the kits that I've built or anything like on my channel, most of them, I don't think I've done a kit that's over $40. So generally, like all the stuff that I have and all the stuff that I've built has been relatively cheap. Even like all the Tamiya kits that I've built, they're all that like $20, $30, $40 price range. Nothing like, I really want to do that new Mazda 5 that they have. Tamiya has that Mazda 5.
Oh,
but
right.
It's like $60. And then there's, I know they do the AE86, the new one. And I know I built the Aoshima one, which was pretty good. But I'd like to do the Tamiya version as well, like the Tamiya Toyota side. And what else do they have that? I did get
ZG.
that. The which?
The ZG, the 240 ZG. Did you get that one?
Z. What's a Z?
The Z car, 240Z, the Datsun.
What's a Z? Oh, wait. You mean Z.
No, Z, right, Canada. Right. So
I'll tell you, man. When somebody online did, who was it? Was it Mr. Linn? I think Mr. Linn built that kit, the 240Z, and it was like oh my, I died. It's such an amazing kit, and I really want to build that one. But again, it's like $70. So
wait a minute.
it's,
you say Mr. Z, who is this guy? Is it
Mr. Linn?
Is it Moki Payne?
No.
Okay.
No, Mr. Linn is.
Oh, don't send me down a rabbit hole of binge watching, please.
No,
please.
his stuff is totally worth.
Okay.
His stuff is totally worth watching. Dude, I don't know. I watch so much.
Me too. Me too.
I thought.
I love YouTube.
I
really
thought
do.
that I still get recommendations from channels that have like less than 100 subscribers. I get them pretty regularly. So whenever like a new channel comes up, it's like, oh, this guy's building. Click, hello. Click, oh, your videos suck. I'll watch more. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't say that. That's terrible. But you know what? When I had 100 subscribers, my videos sucked. And I'll tell you, 100%, dude, if it wasn't for you critiquing me, I wouldn't get to where I am. I remember you watching one of my videos, and you're saying everything's so far away. You can't see anything. You should zoom in. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to convey this feeling, and this sort of thing. It was like I was arguing with you or something, and it's like you're the viewer, and I'm like, no, you're wrong. And then I sat down, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe let me think. Like, and then I changed, and then I started doing more like closer up, and then I finally was like, fuck it, everything. Sorry, screw it. It's everything close. So it's interesting. I find that over the years, that all the amounts that we've talked and everything, I find that you've really helped me grow in my own building, just by us having conversations like this, where
Right.
We discuss the different videos and say this worked, that worked, or this did work, that didn't work, and I really take that to heart. So anyone out there who happens to be watching this, and you're just giving me the comments that are like, wow, great video, you know what? Feel free to tell me what's wrong. I
feel the same way.
I love to hear that type of criticism, because I mean, obviously I'm building for me, but I'm not just building for me, I'm building for you as well. And if I'm not doing what you want to see, then you should tell me that. I have no problems with that. Tell me I suck, whatever. I don't know. I can take it.
Don't keep those to yourself. Don't tell me I suck.
But I do appreciate criticism. I do feel that,
sure.
And it doesn't mean I'll listen to you, but I'll consider it. I'm not like super thick-headed.
Somebody said in my last one I did, that they didn't appreciate the baby crying in it. I was like, well, you're the one. Thank you, Spencer, for spending this time with me.
Hey, my pleasure. Always, James. Always a pleasure. And I'm glad that we could share this conversation with everybody else instead of just keeping it to ourselves.
Right. A lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff. Yeah. And I think I think a lot of people will enjoy this.
I hope so. And I hope everyone continues watching your awesome channel, because you're a funny guy.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Hey,
and you got to watch this guy. Scale Auto Garage.
Scale Auto Garage. That's me.
Yeah. So thanks again, Spencer.
Hey, that was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.